Hey, good morning, social studies kids. I just wanted to say good morning. The assignments were all posted yesterday, and I saw a few of you started and emailed me. Hey, Fatma. I got an email from Mia and Hayden. So I hope when you email me, I get back to you as soon as possible. I'm doing my best. I have my Chromebook open right now, right here. So feel free to email me. Today, I thought I would tell you a little bit about the Mayan disappearance because we didn't really get a chance to talk about that before we parted ways last week. So I thought you'd like to know the story of what happened to the Mayan people because it is pretty cool. While I'm telling you the story, I'm gonna show you my dinner that I'm making. So I'm actually making my own little take on Mexican food. So it's gonna be shredded pork with some corn and some black beans, and then we put it in tacos, and it's one of my favorite meals, but I thought it was kind of appropriate since I was gonna tell you about the Mayan disappearance. So, the Mayans lived in the Yucatan Peninsula for, they were thriving for 1,000 years. And the Spanish conquistadors showed up. Conquistadors is like a fancy Spanish name for explorer. So they showed up, and the Mayans weren't there. But these amazing cities were. So the cities that you can see if you go on Google Earth, or I showed you in the video last week, they found these cities, but no people. There were still Mayans living in that part of what today is Mexico, but they had all kind of scattered and left these really cool cities, and no one ever knew why. So you can go online, you can watch lots of shows on the History Channel, or you can do lots of online research, and you'll see what theories they've come up with. One theory is climate change, which is kind of an interesting theory because climate change we often talk about that's currently happening in our world. So one idea is that climate changed and it made the people have a difficult time living there. Now hold on to that theory. So the next theory is food shortage. These people had heavily relied on maize or corn, and their food was either contaminated. We have evidence of a bug that got into the food, so it was contaminated, or that they ran out of food. They weren't able to grow enough food for their soaring population. Oh, do you hear what is happening? I'm searing my meat. So look, there it is. Trying to brown it on both sides. And then this is gonna go into a crock pot and cook all day long, which if you follow me on Twitter, I will post the end result of what I think is going to be pretty amazing. Okay, so I'm going to flip this over and let the other side brown. So look at that. Oh, I wish you could smell it, but believe me, it smells good. Okay, so back to food shortage. So they ran out of food. Another theory is war. That even though the Mayan people were not as warlike as, say, the Aztecs, but that eventually, when things get rough, people start fighting. So we do know they were warlike because there's evidence of weapons. There's evidence that they had military of some sort. So we do know they were warlike. So eventually they fought too much, and the war caused it their cities weren't a place people wanted to live. So let's go back to the first theory about climate change. I want you to think about how is climate change the umbrella for all those other theories. You think about, you have climate change and a food shortage, climate change and weather, climate change and war, or climate change and bugs in your food. How would climate change possibly impact all of those things. Okay. Well, let me show you how to make the rest of this food, and then we'll talk more about that later. Okay, so I'm gonna get this, and I'm gonna open my food, my corn. Anyways, I hope you're gonna have something good for dinner. And Mexican is probably one of my favorite foods, and this is just kind of my take on the shredded pork that Chipotle has. I like to add beans and corn. Oh, I will put some taco seasoning in here. So I'm gonna open it up. Yeah. Mia sent me an email warning about Running Club. And of course, when we all come back together again, for those of you who are in Running Club, we will have Running Club. If it's, don't forget, you can always run on your own. And so, okay, so here's what I did. Let me take you over. I'm draining my corn. Can you see it? My corn and my beans. I'm gonna rinse it off because it has a lot of salt on it, and I like to get that off. Okay, so there we go. Come back here, let's check on our meat. Now this isn't cooking it, because the crock pot will cook it all day long. It's called searing it, so you get the some brown. Woo, look at this, look at that. Can you see it? Some brown on both sides. It's just called searing it. Okay. So, oh, you know what I need? Because I haven't had my first sip. Yeah, that felt good. Okay. So anyways, here's what I'm going to do, and I'll let you go. I'm going to add corn and black beans to this, and then all day long it's going to cook in my crock pot over there. Woo! And then it's going to be this beautiful shredded pork that we're going to eat in tacos. So if you come back at the end of the day, I will show you what it turns out to be. Okay. Until then, kiddos, think about how did climate change affect all of those other theories? War, food shortage, and bugs in the food. How would all of those things have been impacted by the change of climate? Until then, have a wonderful day. Get outside before it rains. And if you have any questions about your work, don't hesitate to email me. Have a good one. Bye.